I am really fed up and frustrated with National Grid. I think a lot of Rhode Islanders are, and it's not about the frontline workers who've been doing incredible work, but I think the lack of preparation from corporate leadership this last week has got a lot of people feeling upset because it's part of a larger pattern, including the unacceptable rate hikes this last month of a multinational corporation whose primary focus seems to be corporate profits over our families and communities and the best possible service for Rhode Islanders. And so I think when you're continually getting taken advantage of, it means you need to stand up and fight for a better approach. And the reality is there is a different model. Public power utilities, we can empower communities to transfer authority from a billionaire CEO and shareholders thousands of miles away to locally owned not-for-profit institutions that are directly accountable to their communities. We have models of that are successful here in Rhode Island with the Pasco Utility District of Rhode Island. So we know it works at that small scale. We know it works at a larger scale. There are a number of the biggest cities in the country operate their own electric utilities. So this isn't some crazy idea. We can do this. It's just going to take being willing to stand up against a very powerful political player, National Grid, to push for this resource to be what it should be, owned by the public, by the community, rather than just a means to make money for a multinational corporation.
So this would keep the dollars in state as well, right? So we'd have instead of sending the dollars overseas, we'd be keeping it here, where we could talk about grid improvements.
Right. It means that all of the benefits of investment in infrastructure is kept in the community. It means that rates are determined locally. It means that service is determined locally. It means that decisions about investments in green infrastructure versus fossil fuel infrastructure are made by communities rather than by CEOs and shareholders.
Right. And so we could talk about shutoffs as well. Since we're at the Wiley Center, people can determine under what terms people would be shut off, at what terms people who couldn't afford to pay could work out payment deals and stuff. So we wouldn't be at the mercy of Grid for those decisions.
Right. If the decision maker on that is a local board that's a part of the community and that has easy access, where the community has easy access to, it's going to be a lot easier to hold them accountable and to point out how important it is to resolve and protect folks from that than if it's this board 1,000 miles away of folks who are looking at the bottom line above anything else, because electricity is a public need. The utility, it should be a public responsibility, and those should be how we're making decisions rather than corporate profits.
Would you think that electricity is a human right?
Power is a human right, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
In the same way that healthcare and food and shelter. Absolutely, and I think that community, self-determination to power and the decisions that about how to produce and distribute it, those are things that you need in order to have control of yourself. So this is about taking our energy future in our own hands.